There have been some speculations of a change in the name of the University of Ghana, Legon, by President Akufo-Addo. These have come in the wake of the president's speech at the launch of the university's endowment fund, where he mentioned it would be suitable to describe Joseph Boakye Dankwa, who is a Pan-Africanist and member of the Big Sis, as the founder of the university.
Getting to agree to the establishment of a separate university for our country. How felicitous was that decision, and how greatly it has contributed to the growth of modern Ghana. It would be wholly appropriate and not at all far-fetched to describe Joseph Boakye Dankwa as the founder of this university, a fact which on the 70th anniversary of its existence should be vividly recalled by all of us who are the beneficiaries of this work.
President Akufo-Addo there confirming what I just read to you. Well, in recent times, we've heard of name changes at 3 other tertiary institutions across the country. Earlier this year, the Governing Council renamed the University of Mines and Technology to George Grant University of Mines and Technology, after George Grant, the first president of the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC. A few weeks ago, the name of the University of Professional Studies, Accra, we'd heard may be changed to Ampoma University, Opoku Ampoma University of Professional Studies, after founder, the first director, Nana Opoku Ampoma. It is also tipped that Wa Polytechnic may be named after Ghana's former president, Dr. Hilla Liman. Well, to that extent, do these names changes or renaming of state institutions with particular regards to educational institutions have any impact on Ghana's history? We have Professor Osei Kwarteng, who is a historian at the University of Cape Coast, on the phone to help us deal with these questions. Sir, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
First of all, do you get the same inclination that people seem to get when the president starts talking about or starts mentioning names regarding educational institutions? We've done that. We've seen him do that a few times. University of Mines, like I said, is one of them. We've heard hints about University of Professional Studies. Do you get the same feeling that a lot of people seem to get, that he is looking to make some more changes?
Naming the universities after individuals.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I think, I don't know what informed the president's decision, but you see, there is a popular saying that a nation that doesn't honor its heroes is not worth dying for. The president might have sat down and then reflected carefully on the achievements of these individual historical figures. All the individuals that you have mentioned, or he intends naming these universities after, are individuals who have made great contributions towards the socio-economic development of this country, or even political development of this country, if you put it that way. And he thinks that the time now come for us to honor such individuals. So I would say that the president is trying to do this by way of trying to honoring them for what they have contributed towards the forward march of this country. So that's what I can say.
As a historian, wouldn't you say that this has a way of altering the country's history? And looking at
it is altering the country's history.
Right.
Are you asking me that it is going to alter the history of this country?
I'm asking you, as a historian, what you make of the implication of these.
It will not change the history in any way.
Not that it would change the history, but whether or not it has the tendency to adjust, if you like, what we've known, for example, of these institutions as far as their roles have been in the country's history.
Yeah, okay. You know, society is not dynamic, and we have precedents or precedences in history that names of countries started, or countries started with a particular name, but with the passage of time, a leader will come, change the name, another leader will come, change the name. Let me give you an example globally, and then I'll come home. You know, Russia, the country you call Russia, it used to be, at a point after the Bolshevik Revolution, it changed and the name became Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. And then they changed names like St. Petersburg to Leningrad and other Stalingrad. All the previous names were all changed. But after 1990, when the communists fell out of power and there was a new change in power, or there was a change in power, we saw a situation where they reverted to the old name and they gave it Russia, they reverted to the name Russia, calling it Russian Federation, and then they also called Leningrad St. Petersburg, reverting to the old name and what have you. Let's come home to Ghana. Ghana, you have University of Science and Technology, which is now called Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. At the time, it was called Osadifo Tertiary. No, not it was called Kwame Nkrumah University College of Science and Technology. After the 1966 coup, when it became a full-fledged university in 1962, it was still called Kwame Nkrumah University.
But not much has changed. The name of the country's first president is still there. What the university's core mandate is still there. So the components are there. Yeah,
the name, the change of the name will not change anything. Its core mandate will still be there. The degrees it awarded previously will still be valid, and the degrees that it will award subsequently will still be valid. So it won't bring any change. But the only thing is that when you are reconstructing the history, you say that in the beginning it was called this, but at the point somebody came to power, and because of change of policy or new policies that were introduced, the name was changed.
The name was changed.
It's only the name that will be changed, and if it will change and it is given legal backing, I don't think it will cause any harm.
Are there clear examples in history as to how some of these name changes have been done, and were there processes that had to be considered before those changes were made?
Oh, changes.
I mean, in Ghana.
Yeah, I was citing you an example of KNUST. It used to be called Kwame Nkrumah University College of Science and Technology, and subsequently Kwame Nkrumah University College of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
And with that, sorry to interrupt, sir. With that example, I was drawing your attention to the fact that the name wasn't really changed. I mean, even though the name was changed, the components of the previous name were still there. Kwame Nkrumah, the name was still there. University.
It was changed to University of Science and Technology.
Yes, but it wasn't the case as we are seeing, for example, at in the University of Mines and Technology, where a name is added. There was no name before, but now a name is added to the university's name.
Yeah, if you add a name to the university, it doesn't change anything. Okay. It is rather going to ensure that, and also give recognition to the fact that you honor our party and acknowledge the contributions that they have made to our history.
One point that we can
develop our country.
Yeah. One point that we can't completely ignore, though, is the sort of lineage that these changes or the names that we're seeing seem to have with either the president himself personally or with his family. As a historian, does it give you any cause to worry?
Yeah, that he's naming some of the institutions after his family members.
And after the UGCC, which of course is a political tradition that the NPP leans towards.
The problem we have in this country is that we have been polarized by politics. So if anybody does anything, people interpret it from political perspective. So once the president is going to do this, definitely there will be backlash. People will be saying that to sort of project his family members. But I don't think that once it wasn't wrong for Ghanaians to name certain institutions, certain individuals, particularly the first president of Sadifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, we saw his contribution towards our attainment of independence and subsequently the development of this country. You name certain institutions after him. If other people are also named from the other side of the political divide, are also named after a certain institution, I don't see anything wrong with it. Even though people may try to criticize it, J.B. Dankwa, he has played his role. the role J.B. Dankwa played in this country is enormous, even though he was not the one who finally led this country to the attainment of independence. But we cannot discount the role that he has played. His father, he had once been the president, had once been the president of this country, even though he was a ceremonial president. But he's still a president. Even people who have not been president before have had institutions or monuments of state named after them. So what is wrong if the president names his father, who has been a historical figure?
Okay.
Both his father and J.B. Dankwa were all members of the Big Six. They all contributed towards the independence struggle. Let me tell you, University of Ghana, for example, the West African Student Union, they were the people who agitated for higher institutions in Ghana. And J.B. Dankwa was among the people who formed the West African Student Union.
So as far as you're concerned, and from the perspective of history, this is okay if the president decides to change the name of the University of Ghana and names it after his uncle?
I don't think the president will just wake up and by just executive fiat say that he's going to change the name University of Ghana to J.B. Dankwa or to J.B. Dankwa University of Ghana or to any other name. He will take it to cabinet, he take it to parliament, Ghanaians will debate about it, and at the end of the day, like other issues that have come before parliament and it is in the public domain and individuals are debating about it, you see, as we debate about all these things, it will shape the final decision that will be taken. But me personally, I will not be against naming of Ghanaian institutions after historical figures.
All right.
That will help. That will, for me, will give some kind of credence to the fact that Ghana, we respect our heroes, we cherish our history, and recognize the contributions of individuals. We've named PSO after Kwame, we've named PSO after Rollins, we've named PSO after Paul. Because these people have been our leaders, and they have contributed their big towards the development of this country. You should recognize them. And the time, energy, and the resources that they
Professor Kwarteng, thank you very much for that insights there. Professor Kwarteng is with the history department at the University of Cape Coast. He's a historian there speaking on that.